Rivers poured his heart and soul into Pinkerton, so it was inevitable he wouldn't take the commercial disappointment and mixed reviews lightly. In response, he did something anyone else would do. He locked himself in a dark room for 2 years to strip all emotion out of his songs to create a bland record known as the Green Album. And bland it is. Although many praise it, I consider it to be Weezer's most overrated album. Why? Hello everyone and welcome to the third Weezer review video. We've talked about their strong debut, their emotional masterpiece, and today, this. Oh no, there's still so much more to do. The Green Album is a complicated record for me, not musically, as it's the most simple music the band have ever released, but I don't really know where my opinion sits on it. It seems every new fan adores this album, which makes sense as it's the most accessible from their catalogue, but compared to the rest of the band's career, it leaves me so uninspired. So let's dive into each song to find out what I truly think of Green. Remember, this is my opinion, but feel free to argue with me down in the comments. In terms of mediocre songs on this album, this is one of the strongest, and works well as an opener. One thing I will say about this album is the guitar tones are incredible, and it remains strong across the entire album. I will only bring this up here as I don't want to say it for every song to save them from full negativity. Don't Let Go is incredibly catchy for what it is. I really enjoy the groovy bassline from Matt Sharp. Oh yeah, now would be a good time to highlight this is the first album without Weezer's former bassist, Matt Sharp, as he left due to creative tensions between himself and Rivers. This album gives us the introduction of Mikey Welsh, and sadly, this album isn't enough to make him significantly stand out, as this album is incredibly simple. I mentioned earlier that this works well as an opener, and that's because it starts the boring verse-chorus, occasional bridge, solo, chorus structure. I do enjoy the bridge, as it's a nice break / build up to the solo, but speaking of which, most, if not all the solos on this album are the main melody, so there isn't a single standout solo on this album. I looked on Genius for an in-depth lyrical analysis, and here is all I found. The lyric, "I'll be down on my knees, begging for that girl to stay," shows Rivers is being a huge simp and a beta male. Yeah, that's Weezer alright. Although this song is catchy and is produced well, it leaves me uninspired due to the simple songwriting and repetitive nature. So I'm feeling a light 6 out of 10 for this one. For whatever reason, I used to love this song, and I find it on multiple favourite playlists I've made in the past. It's safe to say my opinion of this song has dropped over time. Again, the structure isn't special. The solo is stupidly short, to the point I wonder why they even put it in the song. The only interesting lyrical themes lie in the outro. If you blew it, ooh, don't reject it, ooh, just sit drawing up the plans and re-erect it. Suggests his response to Pinkerton, stating he blew it and is now trying to re-erect it by making an album so completely different, and so he did. Yes, I read out the oohs, and that was to show just how obnoxious they can get at times. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a bad song, it's definitely no Nickelback Photograph. Look at this photograph. But I feel this is the definition of mediocre, as it feels no different to any other song on here. I cannot give this any higher nor lower than a 5 out of 10. Reviewing this album feels like Groundhog Day, as literally every song is the same. Hold on, this song is actually good. Actually, no, this song is great. This track kicks off with one of the best, dirtiest, heaviest riffs in the band's career, with Rivers' vocal delivery being incredible due to him singing so highly. The pre-choruses are amazing as it emphasises the riff before charging into the chorus, where the drums from Pat pack a punch. The energy is through the roof and the whoa-ohs aren't annoying this time and work exceptionally well. The solo is a nice refresher too, as although it's nothing too interesting nor impressive, it's actually something different rather than the main melody. And the song is about a homosexual transvestite prostitute? Watch Mark But Evil's video on it, he explains it much better than I ever could. The song's lyrics are always different when played live, and there is no official lyric booklet on any CD, vinyl or anywhere online, so the song's lyric creates a sense of mystery, as in some places it's difficult to tell what Rivers is singing. Is it eyes wide, ass wipe, eyes wide or ass wide? We may never know. Overall, this is the album's saving grace, as it's undoubtedly the highlight and the best song on here. The lyrics are interesting, the instrumental is powerful, and it's one of their biggest songs. This is the album's only 10 out of 10. This is Weezer's biggest song, and whilst it's not my favourite big hit of theirs, there's no denying its greatness. I seem to be contradicting myself here, as this song isn't too different than the songs I consider boring. But this takes a simple song structure, and it's executed in a way that doesn't feel repetitive or annoying. The guitar riff and the hip hips are iconic. The most interesting part of this song is the post-chorus, as it switches from the laid-back vibe into a slightly distorted section, which offers a nice contrast. The solo is yet again the melody, but I don't hate it, as it makes sense on this song specifically, due to the simplicity and charm of the song. This also has two music videos, the wedding version and the animal version. This was because MTV disliked the wedding version, as they didn't think it fit the song, and to be honest, I agree. The animal version is much better. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. Now, is this song anything special? No, it's a typical pop rock song, but it's done well and captures the idea of summer perfectly. This song is a strong 7 out of 10. This is one of the most obnoxious Weezer songs in my opinion. The wild guitar sounds awful. I feel like the band were like, hey, Crab isn't interesting in the slightest, so let's throw random effects on the guitars. So they made a mystery reel and it landed on irritating wah. The lyrics are terrible. It's about a man who is having trouble with the opposite sex, but it's not told in a vulnerable and powerful way like something on Pinkerton. Instead, it's told with infuriating melodies and straight up stupid lyrical choices. Okay, maybe I might be going a bit harsh on this song. Remember, I love Weezer, it just happens to be this song that annoys me. I also know many people love this song, so I'm expecting my fair share of backlash in the comments, but this song is not for me. The only thing I like about this song are the backing vocals, but they still aren't anything too special. I have one word for this song: annoying. This is definitely one of my least favourite songs from the band. This gets a light 3 out of 10 from me. This second half of the album is where the record gets weaker. Listening to these songs on their own is great, but when listening to this album as a whole, especially this part of the album, all the songs blend into each other, as each song sounds exactly the same, creating an unmemorable listening experience. Would you believe it, yet another verse, chorus, then a bridge, which lasts, I kid you not, a total of 7 seconds. What's the guitar solo like? Oh yeah, of course, it's just a melody, again. It leaves me completely uninspired to say anything about this song, as there is nothing interesting in the slightest. Also, if this song wasn't in the top left of the screen, you wouldn't even know for certain which song I'm talking about, as this is all I can say about each song. Sure, it's catchy and I don't dislike it, but reviewing this as an album leads me to repeat myself. On the sheer boredom of repetition, this song gets a 4 out of 10. To save you and myself from boredom, I'm going to switch up the structure of this video and talk about these last 4 songs together, as they are all basically the same song. Smile is a bit better than the others, as I enjoy the slow melody and the slightly laid back tone, but the solo ruins it. Simple Pages has a decent chorus, but the verses are irritating and poorly written. Glorious Days starts with a strong guitar and almost sounds different to everything else on here, but how could I be so stupid? That guitar fades into the rest of the song, and it sounds like every other song on here. Old Girlfriend is one I quite like, as I feel it finishes the album decently well, and the lyrics shows River's heartbreak towards his ex-girlfriend, which could generally be a song on Pinkerton. But no, it has the same repetitive structure and tone that every song on here has. Every song I just mentioned sounds exactly the same, and whilst they're not offensively bad, they don't stick out in the slightest, and are all simply mediocre. Which is why every song I just mentioned gets a 5 out of 10. For a few years I thought this song was the closer to this album, as here in the UK it is the last song on the Green Album. It's on Spotify and it's on my CD. About a year ago it came to my surprise that this is actually a B-side and is technically not part of the album, which is a shame, as I think this is a brilliant closer, much better than Old Girlfriend. It's yet another simple song, but it's completely different to anything else on Green. The song starts with a mellow guitar riff with Rivers singing over a soft piano. Also, the song ends with almost an unfinished ending, creating a sense of mystery of where the track could have gone. Unironically, I like this more than most of the songs on the album, as it stands out significantly. This won't contribute to my review of the album at the end, but this song gets a light 7 out of 10. So, those are my thoughts on each song, but what do I think of the album as a whole? Firstly, this is my ranking of each song worst to best. 10, Crab, 3 out of 10. 9, Knockdown Dragout, 4 out of 10. 8, Simple Pages, 5 out of 10. 7, Glorious Day, 5 out of 10. 6, Old Girlfriend, 5 out of 10. 5, Smile, 5 out of 10. 4, Photograph, 5 out of 10. 3, Don't Let Go, 6 out of 10. 2, Island in the Sun, 7 out of 10. 1, Hashpipe, 10 out of 10. If I were to include I Do, I'd put it above Don't Let Go and below Island in the Sun. So, as you can see, the majority of the songs fall into the realm of mediocrity, hence the multiple 5 out of 10s. Despite all my criticisms, I don't dislike this album. It's incredibly hard for me to dislike anything Weezer makes, as I love them so much. The only song I actually dislike on here is Crab. This album is what Rivers intended, as he wanted to write the most radio-friendly album in response to the backlash Pinkerton received. Technically, this was the album that also started the colour album trend, as beforehand, the Blue album was just known as self-titled. This album has given us staples such as Hashpipe and Island in the Sun. I also appreciate a large chunk of people love this album. Sadly, I'm not part of that chunk, hence why I have stated that this is overrated. This is because the album as a whole is just incredibly mediocre, have I said that word enough yet, and offers nothing too memorable. I literally had to skip 4 songs and review them together, so 5 minutes of the video wasn't just me saying the same 4 points over again. The album is only 28 minutes long, so it ends quicker than you can form a strong opinion on it. Amongst all the songs I gave it a score out of 10, I found the average, which is the score I'm happy to give it. The Green Album gets a 5.5 out of 10 from me. If I was being cheeky, I would round down to a 5, but I feel Hashpipe and Island in the Sun gives it that extra push. Right guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I didn't offend too many people by saying this album is overrated, as I know a fair share of people do really enjoy this album. But I also know that some people have the same opinion as me, as, you know, it is just overall a bland album. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned, because I'm going to be reviewing every single Weezer album from here. If you haven't seen my Blue album review and my Pinkerton album review, feel free to check that out, because they are also pretty good videos in my opinion. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.